On today's episode, Toni and I discuss epiphanies. Actually, we start the whole thing with an epiphany. And epiphanies are really incredibly powerful, and we meander through a whole range of topics, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Topics.
And I have these two books from Toni. They're Toni's books, but I got them from Mary Lou, our friend, our mutual friend Mary Lou.
Well, hang on. Once mutual friend.
Because Toni's just discovered that Mary Lou decluttered Toni's books to me.
Gave my...
I know. But it's like a gift. It's like a gift. She gifted the books to me.
Look.
You're taking it as decluttering.
I'm
You've been
taking
decluttering.
it very, very personally because I decluttered and I did not declutter
her books.
And she also has two books. So
That's right.
I don't know, Mary Lou.
Yeah.
This could be over.
You need to come and sit on the chair, Mary Lou, and
Mary
defend
Lou.
yourself.
Mary Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Come.
need to be here.
Come and join us.
Yeah.
Stay to the end. It's funny. We drink champagne. It's good fun. Mine's all gone.
Now we know who the drunk is.
Hello and welcome to Stories from the Red Couch. I'm Robin Cook. This is episode 58 and my guest today is a 58 baby.
I am a 58 baby.
Toni Powell, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Cheers.
To 1958.
To 1958.
And the red couch.
And the Red Couch. Thanks for joining us. Now, I'm really keen to talk about epiphanies. I want to start with epiphanies. You've got 101,000 things to talk about, and we've talked for quite some time now. But tell me about epiphanies.
Epiphanies. Oh, I've had quite a few, and they've shifted huge amounts of things for me. I think for me, I think I had some of the epiphanies I've had because I was practicing gratitude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't
you was
expecting
not.
that. Yeah. So they've been preceded by something as a result of something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I learned about this practice of gratitude maybe 9 years ago, something like that. And it was after terrible, terrible time. And I started this practice. And what I discovered is the more I practiced gratitude, the more I kind of felt like I was waking up. It was like, you know how they talk about getting enlightened or...
Veils being taken away from your face.
It was like the world was changing, and the world I was living in was... No situations changed, but the world changed.
So how do you live with gratitude? How do you practice gratitude?
How do you practice gratitude? Oh God, it's such a big subject.
I know.
It is. It's a huge
There's
subject.
no nutshell there, is there?
No. I think the main thing, I think a lot of people do like a gratitude journal or maybe a gratitude photo.
Yeah.
And that's nice and it's lovely, but that's actually really appreciation.
Okay.
Gratitude is to another, to another, to another. It's got to be to another.
So it's in relationship.
It's an outward thing. So it can
Okay.
be to another, to a God. And I actually think it's a super healthy practice to invent a God if you don't have one.
Yes.
To give thanks to.
Yes. I think that's how gods came about.
Is it? Yeah.
Really, that
maybe.
we invented them.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, I think they're necessary because they keep us a bit more less sure
Okay.
about everything and bigger picture. So I like that. So it's really, really outward. And it's this outward thing. It's not this kind of internal, haven't I got all this nice stuff and posting about what every nice thing I've got on Facebook.
It's like that internal chatter that you get, and I've had that myself where I've done something and I go, oh, geez, aren't I good? How clever am I? People are going to be so impressed
Yeah.
that I've done this amazing meditation or whatever it might be.
Yeah, we could talk about our amazing meditations too. We could.
Well, we could. But
But
it's
this
about
practice where you start to really register who the people in your life are, what they do for you, what the gifts are, and that. No, honestly, it is like some weird magic. It is some weird magic.
Okay.
And it does wake you up in a way that nothing I have ever done, ever. And I think that when I've been doing a lot of gratitude, I'm much more open to seeing situations like the yellow car story. I had an epiphany on a veranda on an evening having a glass of wine. I am pretty sure I would not have been able to see what was going on had it, well, had it not been for this awakening thing.
So you're ready for it.
Yeah, it's like you start seeing the world differently. It opens up another world.
And interestingly, I've just opened the book randomly
On.
to where it says, and then I stop laughing
And have an epiphany. I did. I stopped laughing and had an epiphany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do believe that I could only see that because I'd had this couple of years of this practice of gratitude where I gradually felt I was waking up, that I'd been asleep in my own life and gradually started waking up.
Do you think that I think that epiphany is about recognising something that might be a little bit unpleasant about yourself.
Yeah.
So in having an epiphany and then writing about it, I mean, you've written about it in there, but this has actually got more pages. So this is probably the bigger epiphany. But how do you manage to then admit, it's one thing to have an epiphany, it's another thing entirely to write about it and say, put your hand up, I've had an epiphany, I was wrong, or maybe I was deluded, or maybe I was irrational, or maybe I was... So what does it take to be able to admit to something like that?
I don't kind of think of it like that. My response, and it's always been my response when I learn something, I'm just desperate to tell somebody because I think, oh shit, I just spent 8. Oh, are we allowed to swear on this?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think, shit, I suffered that thing for the last 20 years. I don't want you to suffer it. I want to tell you. So I don't really think about
shame,
admitting it, or shame. No, I just feel so happy that I found out that thing about myself that was holding me back.
Does anyone say
so
to you,
much.
oh, look, I knew that last year? I found that out.
Oh, sure.
People say that?
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I'm such a dunce, like it took me all this time.
That's right.
And then I'll go and listen to, or read something. Like I was reading the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu recently. And it's like, has lots of my epiphanies in there. And I'm like, other people knew this way before me. I haven't really learned anything new. But
so then that's a process of only becoming aware of something when the time is right.
Yep.
Would you say that?
Yep. Yeah.
And we can live in a fog or a haze, and then something will happen. It doesn't always have to be painful, though, does it? Or is it invariably painful?
No, and like the epiphanies I've had, I've loved having. Like, they've generally come out of pain. The yellow car, not. This, out of huge pain.
Yes.
But once you have the epiphany, it's like this pain is sensible now.
Yeah.
The pain now makes sense and is worthwhile, and I'd do it again tomorrow to get that.
It's a bit of a hit, isn't it?
It's so a hit.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm. Give me more epiphanies.
What I also love about, and I've been reading this book, I love the amount of humour in there. So is humour inherent in who you are, or do you think that comes with that lightness of veil removal and epiphany?
I think it might just be who I am.
Who you are.
I think so. I don't know. Like a friend of mine was helping edit the book, and he wrote to me and said, "Stop trying. You're trying to be funny." I'm like, I'm actually not. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
funny. I'm just writing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, generally I'm not trying to be funny.
It just happens that way.
Just happens that way.
Yeah.
So I think that might be just me.
Yeah.
Though I think, you know, when you start taking life less seriously and yourself less seriously, then there's way more to laugh about.
So in doing that, are you allowing other things to come into your life when you don't? So that's like not a holding on, I've got to maintain this thing in my life. When you let go of something like that, does it enable other things to come into your life?
I don't know, I guess so. I haven't thought about it like that. Yeah.
You've had a year of not worrying.
Yep, a year of letting it all go.
How do you do that? I think it's almost inherent in our species that we worry. So you've not worried.
I've been very deliberate not to worry. Like I've been looking at worry for a long time. That book, The Yellow Car,
Was all about worry.
is all about worry.
Yes.
I've done a lot of study on worry. So I've looked at worry and stress a lot. But this year, I just started the year going, well, I'm just going to, because a lot of worry in this, well, pretty much all of it really. Nearly all worry is pointless and a waste of energy and time.
Because things either happen or they don't.
They happen, yeah. So if you've got no control over it, it's really pointless.
To worry about.
Or if it's a regret, or if it's some dumb thing you said, or whatever, you know. So those things I've discovered are all completely pointless waste of energy.
So is that something that you have to actually practice though? Do you wake up in the morning and say, I'm not going to worry today?
Yep. Yeah, I do. I actually do.
And then what happens? Does it creep in? And then you go.
But I go, oh, there you are. There you are again. No, we're not on today.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm quite deliberate in waking up, and the first thing I do is surrender the day. Open the door for me, close the door for me. Don't care, whatever it is. Bring it on.
That must be amazing. I mean, I also try not to worry, but I do. There's things that I worry about. It must be immensely liberating.
It is.
Is it?
I've had the most amazing year. Like I've come a long way from being like an extreme worrier, an extremely fearful person. I've come a long way through the Yellow Car and through gratitude and other practices. But this year, where I just went at the beginning of the year, surrender every day, that is amazing. So when I start thinking, oh, I haven't got a booking and there's no money coming in, and start freaking out, I'll just go, actually, not my problem. I'm not worrying about that this year. I'll just go surrender and leave it. And so far, I've had an amazing year.
So what are some of the things that have happened?
Oh my
Can you share them?
Oh.
Which one? Just share something, just a little bit.
Something. Really have to think about that. There's a lot of things I'm thinking about, but there's a lot of them I can't.
You can't share. Will we find out about them?
Some of them not.
Oh,
They're
okay, all right.
Quite private, but
all right.
amazing.
Well, and that's fair enough. Private is private.
Like I said at the beginning of the year, I'm not going to try and. You see, or on the microphone.
Yeah, you're banging it. That's all right.
For people who work for themselves, the biggest challenge is marketing yourself.
Yes.
It's very hard. And you especially don't want to market yourself. You ring up someone and say, hi, I'm really fabulous. You need me. That's horrible. You can't do it.
Yeah, I've sort of come around that too.
Yeah. So at the end of last year, I kind of looked into professional marketing and decided no way in the entire universe could I ever afford what I would need to do to get professional marketers. At the beginning of the year, I just started surrendering and went, I'm not going to push open a door. I will not call anyone. I will not try to get work. I will not do anything to get anything. If a door opens, I'll work my ass off for it, but I won't push the door open. And I'll sometimes think, oh, you should ring that client to see if they need, and then I'll think, no, this is not your problem, leave it alone. 3 weeks into the year, a marketing company approached me.
Wow.
And
So that's a door opening without you
a door
really
opened.
pushing it open.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And they were the perfect company for me. And they have changed a lot for me. But I didn't have to do anything. I've worked hard on that, but I didn't have to do anything.
And working hard to get to that point. You know, you've had a life. You're 1958 baby.
1958, yeah. Hope no one can add up and work out how old I am.
So that means that, you know, you've done a hell of a lot of things. You've had a film festival, which was immense. You've got 5 kids, you've got a long-term marriage, you've moved around all over the place. You've done a hell of a lot of things, Toni. It's astonishing. So clearly there's a lot for a marketing company to say, oh, actually, she's pretty interesting. She does a lot of this stuff. We want to back her. So do you think that there's an element of backing yourself, and maybe that's part of that not worrying and just being, I'm okay just the way I am, here I am?
Yeah, I think what I went through to get to where I got to in writing that book, I had to really face how shit I was at so many things. And I had to really let go of my perceptions about myself. And because we have this thing where we really want to be right, and we really want to have our act together, and we really want to be okay and the good one in the picture. I think really embracing that I was the problem has been very liberating, because now I'm not terribly worried about trying to have my act together. And so I think I am much more relaxed about who I am and what happens. And I think that is a way of back. It sounds like it isn't. It sounds the opposite, but I actually feel much more that I am backing myself now.
Yeah.
Did that make any sense?
Look, it actually makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you take away that pretense of knowing everything, that's what's attractive to people, is because then they go, oh, actually, I don't know everything either.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
My sister said something to me yesterday that I thought was really profound and quite wonderful. She talked about an interview she'd gone into for a job that was pretty big. And she said, I just went into the interview and I just told them my whole story. I was completely frank, and I was totally myself so that they would like me.
Yes.
And I went, hang on, Ange, did you hear what you just said? And she, what? I said, I was totally myself so that they would like me. And I said, nobody says that. People think the opposite. People say, I have to be somebody else so that they will like me.
Yes.
And she said, oh no, I've learned that I have to be myself.
It takes a hell of a lot of energy to be someone else.
It's so exhausting.
Doesn't it?
Totally exhausting.
Yeah. Well, I think that I'm totally myself, and people often say when they come and sit here on the red couch, oh, I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way I sound, and I say to them, I felt the same.
Yeah.
But I think that if my family and friends love me for just who I am, then that's got to be good enough for me.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to be good enough for you. Do you know Buckminster Fuller? Do you know who he is?
No, I don't. Tell me.
Okay, so he's this guy born in 1895 who after...
So I don't know him personally.
No, you didn't know him personally.
1895, some time ago.
Him.
Okay, yes.
So a rebel rouse, a very, very bright, really smart guy, kept getting expelled from Harvard, drinking too much, cheating on his wife, daughter died, a whole lot of stuff. Decides to kill himself and has an epiphany, funnily enough. And the epiphany is that you are not your own, you're here to serve mankind. There's only you, one of you need to stay.
Okay.
So he then goes on to live an experiment which calls himself Guinea Pig B, and he lives an experiment of how much can one person with few connections and limited resources contribute to humanity.
Okay.
And for the next 56 years he does the most astonishing, wild range of people of things. Inventing the geodesic dome, becoming a professor of poetry, but also professors of many other subjects, architecting the expo 1 year. Just, he does the most broad, incredible things, writes 30 big books about the environment, all sorts of stuff, but influences millions of people who now influence us. The influence of that one man. And he has this beautiful quote that I've got on my fridge that talks about that if there were not a need for you, you would not have been born. That you, as you are, is what you need to be. Be that one person.
That's
be
very
you.
beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, be you. And so I look at that every day and I just hope that I can try and be a bit more me today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that fit in with relationship, though? So if you're busy being you and someone else is busy being them, how does that work when you try and cohabitate and work with others and we're all busy being ourselves? How do we accept others being themselves?
That is, I think we just have to do that. Because I think we're very, the thing that about that book is that I was really busy telling other people where they needed to change.
Okay.
I was very wise about that.
It's easy, isn't it? Isn't it easy
So
to see the fault of others? Yeah.
So I'd always be like,
Oh, yeah.
and justifying my behaviour. Now I am just much more, it's not my problem. Your behaviour is not my problem.
Yeah.
And I'm trying really consciously not to even think about your behaviour or make a decision about it. Someone was saying to me the other day, I read your book, I really loved it, I want to talk to you. I'm married to a very difficult man and he will not apologise to me. He just won't take responsibility. What should I do about that? And I said, but isn't it you who wants him to take responsibility?
Yeah.
And she said, yes. And I said, well, why are you taking his responsibility? It's him.
Yes.
It's his responsibility to take it, not
That's
yours. Are you trying to serve you or him? And she was like, oh, I don't know. You know? So I keep trying to come back to, and of course we have reactions. I'm not saying I don't have reactions, not at all. But I keep coming back to, actually, not my problem. You know, you want to pack the dishwasher this way, do this, whatever. Not my problem, not my right even to comment on.
Yep.
And so I've tried to walk in the opposite direction of what got me into so much trouble. That is knowing it all and telling everyone what I know. So, yeah.
And that's part of that working in groups too, isn't it? When you work in a group or an organisation, it's not just with one other person, you've got 10 people.
Yeah.
However many people that must be. I mean, it is challenging because I've worked in situations like that too, where there's lots of people involved and at some point it is fabulous just to step back and allow it all to unfold as it does.
Yeah, it's like not being, when you start getting unattached to the outcome,
Yes.
unattached to what people think of you, and unattached especially to being right,
Yes.
and getting much more attached to being kind, things do change a lot. It's like it's like this weird, I don't know, I have no idea what I believe about the universe or the cosmos or anything or how any of it works. I don't have a clue. But it's like something works, that when you release someone from a judgment, something happens to them. It's weird. And the whole relationship changes. And it's kind of miraculous and amazing. I love it. Yeah, I've just got to keep reminding myself to do that instead of going, you did the wrong thing by me
Is that on
again.
the fridge next to the other one?
No, that is actually, it printed out this really long thing that runs all the way down both our toilet doors.
Okay.
Stuff on relating to people and the kind of things that that I put there to try and make me remember what I've been learning.
Do you know, I don't have anything on the back of my toilet door anymore. It used to be such a thing for me. We would always live in share houses, and invariably there would be some thing on the back of the door, and I don't have any. We've got 3 toilets.
Let me give
There's
you
no
some things. I can give you some things.
I'm a bit.
I have stuff.
I hadn't even thought about that.
It's a great way to contemplate.
It really
It
is.
is a great way to contemplate.
All right, I'd forgotten that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks, Toni. Oh my God! Out of all of that,
It's the toilet door.
it's the toilet door.
That's worrying. That's really worrying.
Well, it isn't in a way, is it?
Oh,
You know, it's
it's not.
a receptacle of all sorts of shit, isn't it? Well, I reckon that we could just keep going, but I know that you have to get home to your family.
I forget them. I don't care
dinner.
about them anymore.
Oh, don't you?
No.
We just sit here and drink champagne.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right, but thank you for coming. I am going to wrap it up.
A pleasure.
I'd like to do it again sometime in the future. Would you come?
I'd love to
We've
hang
got
out
our
with you.
we've got our red.
If we wear
on
the
it.
same clothes, drink the same champagne, have the
Okay.
same cat,
We'll be right.
we'll be right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for joining us. Share Toni's story. We were talking about Facebook earlier and the challenges that are inherent in the system.
Yeah, there are challenges.
But do it anyway.
Yeah.
And Instagram and YouTube. Do all of that. Subscribe and have a look for. You've got a website, haven't you?
I do.
Yeah. And you can find the books on the website.
Yep,
Yeah, they're fabulous.
Yep.
So do that, and we will see you next week. Thank you for joining. We're going to say, and today we've just. What are you going to pick me up on, Matt? Discuss. We discuss. Okay. 'Cause